Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and today I am going to do a little bit of alcohol marker coloring. Mostly I'll be using my Ohuhu markers, and I wanted to try out this technique. I've actually never done it before with alcohol markers, so we'll see how this goes. But there's a concept that I've heard of called underpainting, and essentially it's laying down an initial layer of color before you do your regular coloring over top. So it's often used in painting, it's often used with color pencil work. A lot of times you might want to lay down some pastel because you can just easily get a lot of coverage quickly and block out your colors with a similar color of pastel as you intend to use of your color pencils. In paintings, sometimes you can add some depth of color, block out your shadows and your highlights so that you have that that sort of initial blocking out of color, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a different color. What I'm doing here is I have a limited range of colors, although it is quite a lot of markers. I do have the 120 set of Ohuhu markers, but the set of blue-greens that I have, I wanted to actually have them go a little bit more towards the green. And so that's why I wanted to add just a initial undercoating of green. And then I'm going to do my regular alcohol marker coloring right over top it. And here you can see the difference of with the undercoating of green on the left and without it on my swatch book. So this is a way that if you don't have a ton of colors, you can sort of alter your colors to a degree by applying this undercoat. And because in particular with alcohol markers are translucent. So when you layer more alcohol marker colors on top of each other, it doesn't completely block out the color below it. And if you're quick enough with applying those different layers of colors, you could even if you're able to catch it before the ink dries, you could even blend it out even more. Because as you're applying, wet alcohol marker on top of, wet marker that is still on the page, it'll blend even more. And so this is a nice way of, if you do feel like you have a limited set of colors, you can maybe, play around and mix some of those colors a little bit by doing this undercoating technique. I felt like it worked out pretty well, and I took a stab in the dark at what shade of green to use. I think I might have been able to go a little bit darker even. But it was really fun to try this out. I've only ever done it before with pastels and color pencil. And again, that's more so that with pastels being, and I use the sort of soft pastels like a pan pastel, they have great coverage, and so I tend to like for my color pencil coloring to actually not show the white of the paper when I'm done. And usually to achieve that, you have to burnish or use a solvent like Gamsol that will dissolve the wax and help spread out the pigment. You could burnish with, there are blending color pencils, or sometimes I just burnish with the lightest color that I'm coloring with, and have that sort of be the final pass. And when you burnish, you're actually like flattening the paper, and so it's rather aggressive. You have to, at least I find I have to push pretty hard to achieve that. But if I do an undercoating with pastels, I get actually good coverage. And so I don't have to burnish quite as aggressively, sometimes not even at all, after I'm done with the pencil work. So, so I just wanted to share this technique, and what I'll do is put the rest of this video to some music so you can just sit back, watch the rest of the coloring, and I will make a card, a finished card by the end of this video. If you're interested, I'm coloring a Santa from the latest Artful Angel release. This is called Santa and Mrs. Claus, and I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. And my Ohuhu markers are always listed in all of my videos as part of the standard supplies that I use, so you'll find that in the description box too. Thanks so much for joining me. I won't rejoin at the end of this video, so I'll say my goodbyes now. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.